Welcome to Long Weekend Adventures. She's Lisa, I'm Don, and today we're going to talk about Blue Lake Ranch Bed and Breakfast.
Sure, yeah. So the bed and breakfast we stayed at was called the Blue Lake Ranch. I think we've mentioned that a time or two in our first couple of episodes. It was a really great place. Surprisingly affordable, I thought, for our conditions and in our rooming and everything. It's actually quite a large area. It's 200 acres, the whole entire property. And instead of your normal bed and breakfast where you have a room and then it's kind of community shared eating area, we really kind of had our own little cabin. And when we first walked in, it's kind of an open living room type concept. It had a really nice gas fireplace, a couple of chairs, some dining seating area, and a sofa with a little breakfast kind of nook built in with a coffee maker. I had mentioned before in the previous episode how they leave you some dishes and things like that if you want to bring your own foods, in a mini fridge and refrigerator. And then that ties into your bedroom. Our bedroom was actually huge. We stayed in the Sunset Casita, and it came with a king bed and it had a couple of really huge armoires and things like that. They do have a television in your room that has Dish Network. We did not use it at all. We were so busy running around and editing photos and videos and things like that we didn't even turn on the television once. The night skies were so beautiful and it was so calm and peaceful outside that it was actually really nice to have a break from the television. So
We were running around so much we were pooped and we crashed into bed and just out.
Yep, and ready for the next day. So our little cabin, I guess if you will call it, also had a really nice porch on it with a couple of lounging chairs, which is where I was able to capture all the shots for the time lapse that you've seen the last couple of episodes at the beginning of our episodes. So, that turned out really well. The background of that is actually the San Juan Mountains. So I was actually really satisfied on how that turned out. The rest of the cabin area is the bathroom, and a really large bathroom, lots of old stone tile, very complimentary to the Southwest decor, because you are very close to New Mexico, obviously being in Durango, being in the southwest portion of the state of Colorado. So it was very beautiful. We enjoyed it. Was very much more than I expected for what we paid a night. We paid $169 per night while we were there. The breakfast every morning was wonderful.
Very good.
They had something different every day. They had a property manager on site every day while we were there. She actually went down and cooked breakfast, and we were able to talk with her in the morning. She was wonderful. Her name was Anna, and she tells you all these kinds of stories about living in that area, and she's originally from New Mexico. The people who own this property actually own two other properties and bed and breakfasts also in New Mexico. One, I believe, that they sold. And so she actually came from one of the bed and breakfasts in New Mexico. I believe it was the Santa Fe one that she came from. And another wonderful woman.
Actually, it did sold. It sold.
Right.
So she moved.
She moved to the one in Durango.
Right.
Yeah. And it's actually not in Durango. I guess we need to specify that. The bed and breakfast is actually in a little farm town called Hesperus. And I believe it was, 15 miles west of Durango?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's
so,
not that bad.
Not a bad drive at all. We actually really liked it. Lots of farming out there. It was very quiet, zero traffic. Even the people that were staying there, they had a wedding going on at that time, and the property is so huge we didn't even see the people that were also staying there. So another wonderful woman that we met actually the last morning that we were there for breakfast, her name was Jackie. She was from Brazil, and we were questioning them on what we could do as far as checkout and things like that, because we live about 7 hours from Durango and needed to drive home and get our dogs and things like that. So we were going to be leaving too early in the morning to make the breakfast for the bed and breakfast. So Jackie, bless her heart, I apologize for the dog in the background. That would be Baxter. He likes to greet everybody that's driving by the property, apparently. So he's our neighborhood greeter. Anyways, the wonderful woman, Jackie, insisted that we did not leave the bed and breakfast, leaving as early as we were going to, headed home on an empty stomach. So she put a tray together for us of granola and fresh berries and yogurt and milk and a bunch of assorted fruit and things like that, and really did it up in nice little bowls and put it on a tray for us to take back to our room. So we were actually able to have breakfast before we got on the road. So Blue Lake Ranch, I highly recommend it. I came across it on TripAdvisor when I was doing some research, so there are some reviews and things like that. If you guys are looking for some reviews, I also have posted a review on TripAdvisor about it. I don't have one bad thing to say about it. I don't know if you do. I think you were pretty satisfied.
Yeah, it's my first experience of a bed and breakfast ever, and I don't know, I think this sets the bar pretty high on, this is kind of what I expect now. It's my first one, so you've been to a couple.
I've been to a couple,
so
and nothing like this either.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think this might have ruined bed and breakfast for me because nothing's going to live up to the expectation of this one.
It was wonderful. The people were wonderful, and all the foods were delicious, fresh. They get their eggs from a local chicken person down there. They make sure that everything is pretty much fresh and local, which was amazing. So they come down and talk with you during breakfast. Jackie was doing a lot of jokes on Sunday morning, and everybody that was there from the wedding party the next morning, she had everybody laughing and just kind of really rolling with her jokes. So everybody really tries to make you feel at home there. The cleaning crew I thought was amazing. They go in every day, they replenish everything that you've used, make sure that you have plenty of things. They do have Wi-Fi. I will say the Wi-Fi is pretty spotty.
Yeah, we didn't even use it. We ended up just going with our cell service.
Yeah.
Our cell service was actually faster than the Wi-Fi they had. But they did say to go to the main house.
Right.
And use the Wi-Fi there. And I don't know if they had different Wi-Fi for the cabins, because we had it full strength. You had full bars on the Wi-Fi when we were getting Wi-Fi.
Maybe just too far away.
Well, no, because if you have full bars, you got full bars. So I don't know if they had separate Wi-Fi where our little cottage thing was, and then there's different Wi-Fi that's quicker at the main house. But
yeah.
Nonetheless, it was taking forever, so I was like, let me see. And we actually had full cell service out there, and then we just used the LTE service and tethered that to laptops and iPads and stuff. So that's how we navigated while we were there.
Yeah.
It worked fine. But part of these trips is you're trying to get away too. So
yeah, get away from from the Facebook and the Twitter land and all that kind of stuff. So like Donnie said, we hot spotted from our cell phones, and that was not a problem for the little bit that we needed to use our laptops for something. They do have a main house that, surprisingly to me, they said that they keep it open all night long. And I guess I assume that maybe the property manager is somewhere close just in case, there was an emergency or something. But if you really do need the high Wi-Fi that they do have, they keep their main house open all night long. And you're able to access it at your leisure and go in, and they have really nice seating in there and some sofas, and it's connected to the dining area and things like that where they do it for breakfast. So in my opinion, like Donnie said, Blue Lake Ranch has set the bar very high for a bed and breakfast. I've been to a couple myself where it was just the rooms, and you kind of go down to a community table type setting, with a continental breakfast or something like that. So I definitely give them 2 thumbs up, 5 stars. whenever we decide to go back to Durango, we definitely will be staying there. I mean, it's so unbelievably peaceful. The people that you do interact with are amazing and so friendly. So I would definitely recommend them.
Oh, for sure. And they're always upgrading. They're upgrading one of the houses down by the Blue Lake area there. So they're always making improvements to update it. And, it's a great place. And, we found our home away from home if we're going to go back to Durango.
And you can always walk the properties. They say that you have free range to the properties while you're there. And obviously, being called Blue Lake, they do have a little lake on the property. It's not huge, but you can go down and, it'd be a nice place to take some portraits if you're looking, for a location for some family portraits or couples portraits or something like that. Again, I think we hit Durango at the wrong time of the season, but it worked for both of our schedules to get away. Nothing was blooming while we were there, so they definitely recommend going around June time, and, when everything's green and vibrant and blooming and that sort of thing. So I didn't get any pictures of the property just because it was all kind of desolate and, looking really dry and things like that. But whenever we go back, we'll make sure that it's in blooming season and see what kind of photos we can get.
Yeah, and back when we talked about the railroad too, there's a lot more you can see later in the year. So we got to go back and explore that and do the railroad to its fullest extent, and we'll see more what the property was like, because they're higher up, so they're a little bit slower on greening up. And this year was a weird year too, because the aspen tree behind us just finally leafed out like 4 or 5 days ago.
We were very dry. We had a very dry winter, and so Durango in that area was also very dry. They're actually kind of worried about the rafting season this year. They didn't get near the melt off because they just didn't get the snow, and the whole state of Colorado just didn't get the snow. So kind of sad for people that are in the seasonal business that depend on the skiing resorts and the rafting and things like that for their business. So gonna be a little tough for them, but hopefully they'll still get some blooming. It was a great place. I loved it no matter what, even if it wasn't green and flowery and things like that. It was a wonderful experience. So
I agree. It was a great experience, and like we said, must go back, must try it out. You won't be disappointed. And it sounds like I'm going to be disappointed with other bed and breakfasts now, so that'll be awesome. All right, well, that wraps up this video. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Let's get some interactions going on between, and hit that notification icon so you get notified of our videos. We're shooting for new videos every Sunday night, one a week. And next week, we're going to talk about the big bucket list item, Mesa Verde, which was the grand finale of the trip.
Yep.
So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.